Yo, I'm back. This is part 2, or episode 2. So last time we talked about rewiring your mind, and we talked about how getting into a positive realm within yourself and in your atmosphere will start to enhance your life, and if you start showing gratitude and start being aware and perceptive, you'll start to gain more, you know? So this time, we're going to talk about realizing your goal. We kind of talked about it a little bit last time, where we were saying it's all about finding what makes you happy and what makes you feel good on a daily basis. But let's delve a little bit more into it now. So now you've kind of opened your mind, as we'd say. It's a bit of a cliche term, but you've just expanded a little bit and you're starting to see things with less tunnel vision, and you're more grateful and showing more gratitude. Now it's time to think about exactly what it is you want. And by exactly, I mean exactly what you want. Like, no, I think I wanna, you've got to be exact. Like when I first started, I was like, I want to have a very successful and sustainable independent career and get to a point where I have leverage to get a good enough deal to start pushing myself off of that, you know? And I knew it exactly. I had a plan for every year and every month and every day, and it was very, very exact. Think about this as much as you can, you know, just let it rattle in your mind all the time, and obviously don't let it take over, because I got to a point where it took over me a little bit, and I kind of like isolated myself from friends and family, and started becoming the opposite of grateful, and I started becoming almost like a bad person to be around. But I'm back out of that now, and it was a learning curve, so everything happens for a reason. But think about it as much as you can, and just because the more you think and the more you think and the more you act, the more things just come, ideas that you never would have imagined thinking of just pop out of nowhere, you know? So keep thinking, keep working, keep moving. If you still have to work in a job that you don't particularly like, while you're in there and you've got time and you're typing away, just keep thinking. Just do a little search when your boss isn't looking, you know, and just do these little things that keep it going and keep that dream and that goal and that vision alive, you know, and keep that spark there at all times. Even if the spark goes down sometimes a little bit, just let it go and then give it some oxygen and make it go again, you know? Remind yourself daily of your goal. As soon as you've figured out what it is, like I said, with me, the independent to leverage to record deal kind of thing. Once you've figured that out, think about it a lot, think about it every day, keep reminding yourself. And I think one of the biggest things is speaking it to other people. If you're not completely confident yet in terms of saying it to strangers or putting it on social media, pick 3 to 5 of your favorite family members or best friends and tell them, you know, and talk to them and say, I'm thinking of doing this, and I really like doing this, and this kind of makes me happy, so I've thought about this and this, and putting this together and this and this. And even if it's like an outlandish thing, like for me, I was never seemed as like, no one would ever think I'd be a rapper, you know, or a musician or anything. But the way I put it to people when I was talking about it, I said, I've got this and this idea and this with this song and this, if I try this here and a video here, what about that? And then it all comes together like this, they go, oh yeah, I believe in that too. And their reinforcement makes you believe in yourself even more. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, just get a small group, like a mastermind group that you can just throw ideas at. And the best thing is as well, that if they know you and they believe in you, they'll give you good ideas back if they're in the same sort of mindset, you know? Use motivational cues. This was huge for me. Every time I was working on like a rollout of songs, because I put out loads, I put out like 85 songs, so in like 2 years. So when I was putting out sections of songs, I'd see them as like chapters almost. So what I would do was I would make a folder of one particular time when my music was really starting to get going, and I called it This Is Real. So every single day I looked at it, I saw this is real, and it just put into my head, this is real, this is real, this is real, this is real. Like, and then it just became real, and everyone else started to see that it was real too. It's really crazy what happens when you change your own mind, what everyone else's mind starts to think as well, you know. It's really mad. Power of the mind is insane. So do things like that. Put something on a little sticky note on your mirror so you see it every morning, saying you can do this. Or like, I don't know, read a book every day, or watch a motivational thing. I don't know, you know, just whatever works for you. For me, it was like files in my computer where I could like compartmentalize each section of my music and give it a name and give it a reason and a purpose. That's what worked for me. Then from there, once you've got all that, just keep convincing yourself that anything is possible and that you can get it done. Because the more you do that, the more you'll keep going, the more you'll elevate, the more you'll learn, the more you'll grow, the more you'll be willing to sit down and do the work, which won't really feel like work if you love it. I put in hours and hours into music, and I feel like I've done nothing still, because it don't feel like work, you know. It's my passion, it's my love, you know. It's like spending time with a friend. It don't feel like you've spent 10 hours talking nonsense, but 10 hours is gone, you're like, oh God, I gotta go home. You know, But the next day you feel like, oh, it felt like I was only there for an hour. That's what it's like when you're working on something that you really love. So there, that's episode 2. It's all about just figuring out and plugging it into your head and really getting it solidified, your goal and the direction you want to go with. Tell a couple of people, motivate yourself with cues, and just keep drilling it in your head every single day. Even if you have to keep doing things that are nothing to do with it, just keep drilling every single day. And I promise you, it'll be minuscule steps at first, but the steps will gradually get bigger and bigger, and the progress you'll look back in a year thinking, I feel like I've not done that much towards it, but my mind's so equipped now and I've got all the foundation set that when you start doing the work, it'll propel, you know? So that's episode 2. I'm probably gonna record episode 3 straight away after this. But again, I'll see you next week. Keep being your best.